Now, real quick, let's take a step back and look at these numbers that they're providing us. They get considerably larger as we go along. We started off with 1,000 miles per hour is the speed the Earth's spinning at. It's orbiting the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. Now that sun that it's orbiting is 330 times larger than the Earth. Now the entire universe is blasting through space at 448,000 miles per hour, while that space expands at 1,367,016 miles per hour. And the sun that's doing all this blasting is 92,307,000 miles away from the Earth. Now, if you are like me, all those numbers just gave you a headache because it's just a bunch of gibberish to the average person, and this is done intentionally. The way the human mind handles large numbers when thrown at it quickly, it just shuts down. So many people, when they hear all of this, it's so much for them to process, they can't do it, so they just accept it. Oh, well, the guys that come up with all this, they have to be smarter than me because I can't even imagine what those numbers would represent in reality. So I'm just going to take them at their word because I've got to know what they're doing to come up with all these numbers, right? Well, we can look back at the footage. They don't have a clue what they're doing. They are making it up as they go, and they tell on themselves with slips of the tongue like in the previous clips. So our universe, the heliocentric model, exists within a galaxy called the Milky Way galaxy. And they tell us that the Milky Way exists as a speck in an endless sea of other specks.
I don't exactly know how to tell you this, but
you're living on a speck.
I knew there was life on this speck.
So what I want you to do, I want you to take everything that I have told you about this scientific model, and for the sake of this series, for the duration of this series, I want you to throw it out. Put it in the trash where it belongs because it's incorrect. Now what you're feeling right now at that statement, throw it out. You're feeling cognitive dissonance. It's a knee-jerk reaction. You guys are probably, some of you are probably angry that I said take all of this scientific information that we've been taught all of our lives and throw it out. Who am I to tell you to do that? What do I know? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physicist. I'm not in this field. Why should you listen to me? Keep listening. Cognitive dissonance is natural, and it is the discomfort that a person feels when faced with opposing ideas that do not align with their values or beliefs. It's the dissonance between two contradictory ideas that creates discomfort. It's natural to feel discomfort when looking at this large of a claim. But if you will stick around to the end of this series, I believe that you will discover there may be something to this. And a lot of people ask me, why would you even waste time on this? Why would you dig through scripture and dig through historical record in order to write the book that you wrote and now do this series that you're doing? Why would you waste time on that? And I would say it's not a waste of time at all. Scripture tells us in Proverbs 25:2, it is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. Well, it is my honor to search out the truth of God's creation within His scriptures. So that's exactly what this series is designed to do. Today we've taken a look, a high-level overview of what the scientific community describes our creation as, how it came into being, what it is, what it's doing, and ultimately the meaningless of it all. We're just a speck in a sea of other specks. So even if there was a God, He wouldn't care enough about us because we're nothing in His vast creation. That's how they want you to feel. They want you to feel small and insignificant. But as we go along the series, I believe we're going to discover that We're much closer to God than we're taught, and we're much more important to Him than we could ever imagine. All right, well, that's episode 1. I kept this one short because it is the scientific information regarding our creation. I didn't want to go super in depth with it because we're going to spend the rest of this series dismantling what they claim. With the very next episode, we're going to take a look at the firmament and maybe another aspect of God's creation. We're going to go to Scripture and we're going to dig deep and see what God has to say about what He made. So one more time, thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. Make sure you share this with your friends and family. And as always, I'll see you next time.